Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I know what you're going through. I hear it all the time. The agents that I work with, I'm just running out of time. I'm running out of time and I need more leverage. I need more help. Today, I have a solution for you. A gentleman that has created something for the marketplace to allow you busy agents to have some help. Stay tuned for that. I also want to remind you that inside of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook, we continue the conversation. We allow you to engage in it more so than in a typical podcast, to where you can then deepen the learning inside of you. So be sure and sign up inside of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook. Back to today's guest. His name is Matt Kuchar. He is out of Colorado, was a top producing agent, one of the top agents in all of Colorado for a number of years, realized that there was a problem, founded a company called Showami. I'm really excited to dig into that today. Whatever you leave with, be sure and go to showami.com. There's an opportunity for you today to get a discount on having your first showing agent on demand. We're going to learn more about that. Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show today, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Justin. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Matt, go back to the point at which you were like, somebody's got to solve this problem. Like, go back to, like, there was, I would imagine when you were like pre-inception, right? The fact that of you saying like, okay, I got to figure this out. Like, there was some pain that you were experiencing in your business. I know you were a top agent, probably spread so thin, right? Talk to us about maybe that point in time.
Yeah, so actually tried to take a day off. Me and my friend Ed decided to go skiing. Of course, being in Colorado, it's a perfect day. I finally get up to the slopes and we're about to get on the lift. And I get a call from a past client. It's like, hey, this home in this neighborhood just came available. We've got to go see it. This is it. It's on the street we want, And I'm like, I'm an hour and a half away. I've just paid $100 to get on this lift, and what am I gonna do? So I did what any other agent would do. I pick up the phone and started calling and texting agents in my office. And one of the problems also was it was Friday. The guy worked until 4, which meant he couldn't see the home till 5 o'clock on Friday, and it was in downtown Denver. If you could say traffic, probably not the best time to go. So I'm asking all these agents in Highlands Ranch, which is, 30 minutes, 35 minutes away on a good day, to go down there. But I'm calling, I'm texting, and, after about a half hour, 45 minutes, somebody finally was like, yeah, I can do it. And then we had to have this awkward conversation. Am I paying you? Are we just trading off? Are we sharing the client? And all I wanted, they were already clients of mine. All I wanted was them to get inside the home. I'd come take a look at it the next morning or whatever I needed to do. But I couldn't, I just needed them inside the house. So I said, look, I'll pay you $100, go show the house. They did. We sold the home. And sure enough, I was having a beer with my friend Ed later, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And so, you always hear the people like, we were at a bar and had a napkin. We literally were at a bar having a beer and had a napkin, and we drew this thing out, and it's like Uber for real estate. We're brilliant, and we started celebrating because we thought we'd make millions.
Now, I want everybody that's listening to this, whether you're listening to the audio afterwards, right? I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, I've been there. If you're listening to this live, I want you to like type in the comments, be like, I've been there, where I love my career as a real estate agent, but this point in time, I was so inconvenienced, like I just couldn't do it anymore, right? Just say like, I've been there. Just put that in the comments so we know that like we feel your pain, right? Yep. Okay, so now take us back to the napkin. What exactly did you write on that napkin that really started to transform the way that agents could not only create great income, but great time freedom, right? What's the use of money if you can't enjoy it, right? What's the use of having the ability to go up skiing if you're going to be worried about who's calling and who's going to be calling you back home, right? Like an ER doctor.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and I came to realize it's something that we do all the time in the real estate business, right? We always need help, whether it's for an inspection, whether it's for coverage when we're not available to show a home. This is something that's going on all the time. I just sold my house last weekend. I had 4 calls from real estate agents who were like, I'm out of town. Can you show my buyer your home? All right. Is that not, they're asking me, who I'm the seller and I'm the agent, right, to show their buyer the home. Conflict, maybe, they tell me, oh, they love it. This is happening all the time, and especially in today's market, because the buyers are the challenge. And so when I looked at it, I'm like, this is something that's always going on. Why don't we have an automated way to do this? Why is this so complicated and takes so much work? So we created the fastest, easiest, and most reliable way to get help with showings when you need it.
Fascinating, right? Because I think you're right. If you do have the ability to do everything your business requires, your business is not meeting its potential.
Yep.
Right? Real estate agents are, when at their highest and best use, right, are like an attorney. Like they're a well-paid professional, a consultant, an advisor, somebody who gives very important advice, and that very important advice has an impact upon their client's net worth, upon their future. Like, these are big decisions, and that's why real estate agents have the potential to get paid very well. However, if they're trying to do everything, or if they are doing everything, it tells us that they are not truly stepping into the role of being the well-paid advisor that they could be, right? So
Right.
again, if you're running into that, it's like, nah, I got it all covered. It's like, you could be doing a lot more in your business. Like, you could really be doing a lot more. But most agents that are listening to this, agents that are, right, followers of the Think Bigger Real Estate Show, they're thinking bigger. They want to get to that next level. They're maybe hitting a ceiling. This might be an answer, right, for you to do exactly that, to have a very simple automated system that takes all the awkwardness out of it, right? I've had those conversations with agents, before as well, Matt, of where it's like, well, like, is it like, are we trading? Is it like, how much do you pay? Is it
Right.
worth it? Where's the property at? And this whole uncomfortable conversation, right? That oftentimes apparently doesn't need to happen. So talk to us about how Showami works and how do agents really get access to it?
Yeah. So basically, it's a platform where a buyer's agent, and you've really got two sides of the transaction. You've got the buyer's agent side who needs help, and you've got the showing agent side, the agent who's willing to help. And some people are both. Sometimes they help others, sometimes they need help. That's where most of the agents are at, right? Not everybody just always needs or always shows. So the buyer's agent goes in, everybody has to create a profile. We're all licensed agents. We verify that you're licensed. And then you go in and you put in the date, time, location, and we find an agent in there in that area that's willing to show the home. So how much does it cost? Typically $39 to $44 per home shown. So sometimes it's more. If you're like, hey, I got to be there in an hour to get somebody to drop what they're doing, you might have to pay $50 or $60. Or if it's out in the mountains, right? We get this all the time in Denver, where it takes a half an hour to 45 minutes to drive. Well, no one's going to do that, for a small amount of money. So then Showami finds an agent in that area. They pick it up. They show the home. You keep your client. You keep your money, your commission. You keep your client happy. You keep your schedule. It works out beautifully.
Yeah. The thing that I love about this, right? It's like Match.com, right? Where you're like supply and demand. You're simply connecting the dots with a simple technology. It takes all the hassle out of it. Takes like the running around and the calling and the who do I trust out of it, right? You've got agents on there that are in need of experience. They're in need of a little bit of cash flow, right? In this market, I know there's a lot of buyer's agents that are struggling, right? Frankly, right? Because they're submitting 10, 12 offers before they're getting accepted, where it used to be one or two, right? That definitely dilutes down their dollar per hour. And if they know that I'm going to get paid when I show this home, I know I'm going to get paid when I show this home, right? Like that's encouraging, right? It's not the kind of money they want to make, but hey, what a great opportunity to learn with experience, to go practice your trade, practice your craft, get to tour a home. Like, is not, as a real estate agent, one of the most important things you can do is go evaluate the inventory. Like, someone's paying you to go do that. That's a pretty cool concept, right? Not just for the agent needing help, but for the agent that can step up and help.
Oh, there's so many benefits for the showing agent beyond just getting paid, right? And a lot of newer agents, that's why do they fall out of the business? Why do so many people get started and then, a year from now, they're not in the business? Well, they didn't have a tool to get them out doing business. So first of all, you do get paid. Not a lot. It's not like you're going to make a living doing this, but you do get paid. You get the showing experience, like you said. So now you're out meeting clients. You get the market knowledge, but you also, a lot of the agents have learned to start taking pictures of themselves while they're out showing, post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook. Hey, out showing homes today in, Conifer or wherever, imagine yourself living in this house. I could show it to you. They're out there and they're posting it on their feeds. Now everybody, it may not be their client they're showing, but everybody's like, wow, I forgot that you were in real estate, but now that I see you out showing homes, my friend was just talking at lunch that he's going to sell his. Let me connect you. If you have enough activity, it's going to help you. So a lot of them are starting to do that. Also, you build relationships. I mean, how much is real estate a relationship business? Now you're showing homes. That agent who might not have known you before now goes, oh, okay. I now know that this person is in my market showing homes. Same thing with that buyer's agent. They build relationships. We have the preferred agent. If you do a good job, oftentimes they'll ask for you over and over and over again, and you get repeat business. So there's a lot for the showing agent beyond just getting paid for it.
But I love it, Matt. I was actually having a conversation with a client yesterday, and we were actually evaluating her Instagram profile. And she just gotten married, so there were some beautiful pictures of the wedding. Her profile picture was her and her dog, like lovely things. But I said, this doesn't scream to me that you're in real estate.
Yep.
I said, I love you. These are beautiful pictures, absolutely gorgeous. My question is, are people starting to see you synonymous with real estate? Right? It doesn't mean that every post needs to be a picture of a house. I think that's actually not the right thing to do. But I do think that at least every 3 on Instagram, right? 1 out of 3, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, needs to be like you in your craft. Because let's be honest, like a third of your day is doing real estate, at least, right?
Of course.
Like 8 of your 24 hours is real estate. So if you really want to be an authentic human being and tell people this is my story, then you better not be excluding real estate. And what a great way to do it, as opposed to maybe what the typical day would look like is like, not like in your office, a little bit boring. Like now you're able to go out, like you said, and go and I'm on tour of homes and actually show yourself out in the field doing your craft. That's a great idea. What a great idea to go get some great social media content, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then when you think of the buyer's agent side, most of us automatically think to when I'm unavailable, right? That was how it got started with me. But there's so many more things that you could do, especially in this market. You can handle more buyers without getting burned out. I know what it's like to be out there. I did it this weekend. The house has 10 offers, and I'm out showing a bunch of homes, knowing that we don't have a chance. I could be doing something else, but you can handle more buyers without getting burned out. Also, one of the things that some of the agents really taught me is you can handle buyers in other areas. So I was in Highlands Ranch, and one of the things I didn't want to do was go to Arvada because I had to drive through downtown Denver. But when I created Showami, I could get another agent up there to show it, and I didn't have that hour drive one way, hour drive back. And oftentimes I would refer it. I'm like, I don't want to work that area. It's too far for me. Now I'm not referring it. Now I'm handling it, but I'm having somebody else show the home. And when it's time, they're like, hey, this is the one. Absolutely. I'm going to drive up there and see it. I'm going to be a professional. I'm going to do the job that I need to do. But you can handle more buyers. You can handle buyers in different areas. Also, I had a guy during COVID whose wife was very high risk. So he couldn't go out and show homes. He used Showami to sell 5 homes over the last summer and kept his business afloat. When to go out, and if he'd have gotten it, it would have killed her. So it saved his business. I mean, he's a raving fan. And, there's so many ways that it does benefit the buyer's agent as well.
If there's one thing that I think we've all learned and experienced over the past year is that the world's gotten a lot smaller.
Yep.
People are a lot more open to the fact of doing business via Zoom, right? It became a necessity for a period of time.
Yep.
And I think once the world kind of settled into that, they're like, hey, there's a lot of driving around that was unnecessary before, right?
Yep.
And I think when you can embrace that, you're right. You don't need to have to live in the area where you're selling homes necessarily, right? You can have a high level practitioner business and leverage the help of some other agents, right? That's very, very cool. What great insight. And I think in this market, anybody who's dealing with buyers, everybody that I talk to, it's like, it's a frenzy. I just don't have enough time. In fact, one client, he told me, he said, Justin, I put 300 miles on my car over the weekend, and it was within like a 5 to 10 mile radius. Like it was just here and there. And he said he's put 30,000 miles on his car in the past year. It's a year and a half. And that's because of what we're talking about, right? Is that this concept that you have to show every home yourself, and it's not the case, right? I think you can still serve people and serve them well, and not be the one that's necessarily there opening the doors. That's not a high paid, well paid activity. Maybe offering, like if they want to see it again, right? Then having your expert advice and input, right? You might decide at that point. But yeah, just the fact, both in inconvenient times and just for the fact of getting leverage. One other point I want to point out here, Matt, is that there's this concept of the only way to scale a business is to grow a team. And I see so many agents who embrace that, and then they struggle. They don't like the hiring. They don't like the management. They don't like the firing, right?
Yep.
They don't like, it's just not their thing. They got into real estate because they love real estate, not because they want to have and be the HR department. And what I'm hearing you say here is you have the ability to extend yourself as if you had a team without taking on all of the hassle of your own HR department.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things. I was that agent. I was at a KW and Highlands Ranch, top performing team. But I felt responsible for those people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
If they didn't sell a home, that was on me, so I felt this incredible pressure to produce leads, to keep them busy year round, and obviously during season, it was easy. Everybody's making money and it's great. But once it starts to slow down, we're very seasonal in the Denver market. Then you're like, oh my goodness, this person hasn't had a commission in 2 months, and are they going to be able to make their payment? And I'm giving them leads that I would have basically sold myself.
Yeah.
It was awkward. And the profit, it actually almost ran me into the ground, because I was spending a lot of money on advertising, a lot of money on the team, the admin, you name it, but I was making very little money. And that was one of the aha moments as well. Like, this is a solution. If I can get you into the home, and it's a conversation you have with the buyer. The buyers feel it. Like, I was talking with a friend at church who was buying a home through one of my agents, and he was like, I always felt guilty calling Carlos out all the time to go look at these homes and taking him away from his family. That buyer felt that, like, do I really want to? I want to go see this home, but do I really want to bother Carlos? If Carlos had been using the tool and said, look, when I'm not available, I have a whole team of showing agents to get you into the home. And that's all they're doing. They're not trying to sell it. They're not writing contract. All they're doing is getting you inside the home. If you fall in love with that home and that's the one, then I'll drop everything I've got and come and see you. But it takes the pressure off the buyer to go, oh, I don't want to bother him. We've already looked at 15 homes,
Yeah. You talk to people that have built teams, and of course you're a great example of one. And they're not always as profitable as you think, right? You see big gross commission income numbers, right? Pat Hyben calls them ego commission income numbers, right? And that's not conducive to someone taking home a lot of money. Sometimes it is, right? There's people that built great teams. They're kind of very disciplined and kind of managing the bottom line, but there's a lot that aren't, right? It's very much focus on top line. And this, I can see for those agents that don't want to go down that path, this could be a really, really valuable option for them. Matt, so much insight here. Absolutely love it. I want to ask you our final question, which is the signature question of the show. In fact, let me ask this question. Let me just kind of reinforce here really quick. So for agents to get started, they simply go to showami.com.
Yep.
And
there's also, yes,
create a profile.
Yep.
And then what? Is there some other like anything else that they need to do? Just like turn on the notifications?
So we have to verify that they're actively licensed.
Okay.
And we do have some training to make sure they have to be a member of the MLS. They have to be able to get into electronic lock boxes. So there's some basic things, and we do some training on what to expect. We expect you to be on time. We expect you to dress nice. Normal things like that. We expect you to communicate well between the agents, both the buyer's agent and the showing agent. Good communication is huge. But yeah, you would just go to showami.com, and I know you're going to put it in the show notes, but there's a $20 off coupon in the link that if you sign up through that on your first showing, you get an extra $20 off. And because we want people to try it. I think once you try it, you go, oh, okay, this is like, where have you been my whole life?
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's go back to the signature question of the show, Matt, which is this. You're a big thinker. You've created something really, really cool here that's going to help a lot of people. What does Matt do to continue to be a big thinker? What do you do to continue to grow yourself, to expand your possibilities?
Um, I ask lots of questions of people around me that are smarter than I am. I think I've got a coach that's huge. And you and I know the same, the person who's coaching me, and they stretch me. They help me to think in ways that I didn't think before, and they hold me accountable to do the things that I wouldn't do on my own. You were mentioning, what's this challenge you're doing, the 75-day? Tell
Yeah,
me a little bit about that.
yeah, 75 hard. So 75 days straight. You got to do 2 separate workouts, both 45 minutes each, one outdoors. A gallon of water, take a progress picture, be on a diet, read 10 pages a day of a book, and then no alcohol or cheat meals.
Awesome. Wow. Wow. You got to be
that,
dedicated to do that, man.
yeah,
You were even telling me like, oh, this is hard. It's mental toughness.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
not
you
a
were
fitness
saying.
program. It's a mental toughness.
Yeah. And my coach helps me to be mentally tough, So I think to think differently, to grow myself, I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, man, I love it. Great stuff. Thank you so much for coming in and contributing, not just to this show, but really looking for what's a problem that's keeping real estate agents back from living their best life, right? What a great career if it were not interrupted by those pesky phone calls when you're getting ready to get on a ski lift, right? It'd be the
Yep.
perfect career. And what you're doing is helping to make it a little more so. So appreciate you, all you're doing. Such a pleasure to be connected to you. And to all those listening here today, be sure and go sign up at showami.com and get that discount. And my final request of everybody listening today, just like Matt has showed us how to do, there are 3 simple words, and they are go think bigger. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you very much, my friend.
Thanks, John.